Hello everyone, welcome to VizConnect, connecting you with the art of data visualization and storytelling. My name is Sagar Kapoor. I'm part of customer success team at Tableau. Introduce you to our speakers. I have Pawan Sachdeva and Praveen Pijos. Let me go ahead and introduce Praveen. So Praveen is a Tableau Public Featured author who has been working with UX-based dashboard design for almost half a decade. Currently working as a user experience designer and data visualization developer at the Bosch Center for Artificial Intelligence, contributing to integrating AI with every product at Bosch. In the past, he has worked with sales, marketing, finance, FMCG, and airline domains. He specializes in UX, wireframing, and design, advanced business Tableau dashboard development, corporate branding, based design, user-centered dashboard design. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Praveen, who will talk about who's the most important person in a dashboard design process. So Praveen, over to you.
All right, so I just start sharing my screen. So there we go, and here we are. So just confirm once you're able to see my screen, and I can kickstart from there.
Yeah, you're good to go. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Okay, so thank you first of all for this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to that, the feedback for the session. So please let me know. I was really excited when the session was onboarded, but yeah, pressed by time. I am a procrastinator by design, so it's not in my intent to start with something very fast. So always come up with simple slides. Illustrations are something that I've more focused on so that people get guided to it. But I try to use most of my slides to present the information of what I try to conceptualize in my mind. So my topic for today is who's the most important person in a dashboard design process. This is one of the questions that comes up with weird answers sometimes, and sometimes they come up with most of them it's the right answer, but sometimes I do get questions and the answers that I get baffle me, and I'm like always like, dude, how can someone miss that? But eventually it's something that how we work with something, how we work with dashboards, how we dealt with them in the past, and people try to come up with that ideology, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So my idea is to guide people on who to focus on, who's the right people, and how to model a dashboard based on that. So I'll start off with a small introduction for myself. My name is Praveen Jose. I work as a data visualization specialist and a user experience designer at Bosch Center for Artificial Intelligence. I've been working with Tableau for almost half a decade. That I started with Tableau in 2015, and currently I specialize in BI dashboard design focused on user experience design-based dashboard development, conceptualization, corporate branding, and user-specific design. So it's more focused on user experience design. So I do as part of my practice, and dashboard development is another trait that I carry on along with that. Moving on to my work experience. In a nutshell, I started off as a data analyst with Dorchester Collections in 2015 as a contract employee. I then, in 2015, I migrated to pre-sales with Tableau development. The pre-sales was started off with real estate, and then I moved on to airlines, and then I jumped onto a one-year role with Unilever as a contract position for UX-based Tableau development in 2016. And post which I was dangling between Unilever and pre-sales. I used to handle two stuff together in 2016 and 2017. I jumped on to take a contract position for 2 years with Lincoln Financial Corporation. It's a US-based company for financial 401ks. Post which I jumped onto a full-time user experience design and data visualization specialist at Bosch Center for AI in 2019. And I've ever been since with Bosch for the last 1.5 years, and it's an absolutely remarkable experience that I had. I have had the opportunity of counting the number of projects which people do. Until 2017, I completed almost 35 projects. I've not counted after that. After 2019, I've not counted the number of projects, but that's that. And almost like 3,000 use cases on a rough number. Not really sure, but it's kind of not really good enough to keep track of that. Anyways, I would like to jump on to the topic for today is who's the most important person in a dashboard design process. As part of user experience studies, I do this every time when I read someone or I find someone which sharing a same knowledge platform with me. Try to ask this question to people and try to get the insight of how people think or how people perceive a dashboard is meant to be designed for. So the most common answer I get is client. Well, that's not wrong. I get answers like client manager, people, more specific instead. I get answers like developer, designer, and goes good. And it goes worse now. They start with project manager. There are people who told me delivery manager is the most important person. And I still have got scrum manager. So these are the weird list of answers that I got. But I started to see this as some of them are fine, some of them are varied versions of that, some of them are absolutely absurd. The most important person in a dashboard design process for me is the user. There is no one who stands above the user for me. He's the guard for dashboard design, and if we miss that plot, we're missing the design process itself, and it doesn't really work out good. How do we do that? So I think so. How many of you have played this game? This is one of the most commonly played games of knowledge transfer or finding out the requirements, how that they traverse within a company. So people just draw in something at the back of you, and you have to draw the same thing without seeing on the other person's back and try to interpret how much of the person is trying to perceive from what is drawn at the back of using sense. And this is something that really excites me, and this is how I see that people perceive information if they miss the plot. If you miss the plot that the user is a most important person, then this is what happens, because as the picture traverses through the game, it might start off as an airplane and it might end up as something as meager as an airplane model. So that's the difference that comes up when people try to design stuff. And this game is something that I really bring up with teams sometimes to see how they have designed or structured their the design strategy inside the company, and this really shows that. So going forward, so why this happens? Typically in any company, we see when it's a consulting based company, so we have the user who is the actual using of the dashboard. We have a users manager, then we have a consultant for them, and then it comes up to the client company where we have a project manager, we have a tech manager, we have a module manager, and then we have the Tableau developer. So it's the transfer of knowledge happens in this format. This is how it typically works. And even when the design of the dashboard is done, it gets traversed in the other way around. There's absolutely no difference that something flows directly from the developer to the user or the user managers. It doesn't really happen. And because of that is where we miss the plot. We think that we make dashboards for consultants, we make dashboards for project managers, we make dashboards for our module leads, but we're missing the plot that actually the person who's going to use the dashboard is the user. And when we miss the plot is where everything goes wrong. I've seen projects we do 20 to 25 iterations for dashboard. I mean, how crazy can people get? So it's like a proper dashboard design which features on user should ideally have, let's say, 3 or 4 iterations max, because what the user wants and you are perfect at that. So that's a difference. So people usually come up with a question, my client and my user are the same. It's not. And that's the difference that we like to see. So difference between client and user. 90% of the time, the client or the person who is stating the requirements is not the person who uses the dashboard. This is something that I read in a wonderful book. They describe it, although the number is something that baffles me. But still, I wouldn't be surprised to see this, because most of the time it's not the person who gives the requirement who's actually going to use it. He might be a consultant to the team. He gets the requirements, he channels it down to the client company or the client that is going to design it. So it in terms works in that. So technically how they see is client or a person providing requirements, and this is the user base. So we're missing the plot over there. If you focus and design a dashboard based on this user group, it will never work for this, because this user group is widely focused. They have a wide variety of understanding, and it's never going to work, because you design something for this, it's good enough, it works, but it's not really helping the user, because the user's perspective can be much more broader than what we see. How can we see the perspective of what changes? So these are two examples. One is a fancy dashboard that we designed to impress a client. A client could be a person who's not using the dashboard, but still tries to get the insights from that. So the dashboard is fancy, it looks artistic, it works, but it doesn't work for daily use. Even the person who sees that knows that, but still it works. It uses techniques like data densification and absolutely remarkable dashboards, but they add on to the fact that they increase the data size, and the person is much more worried after that. It provides a lot of information, but it provides a lot of information which might not be even needed. There is a difference between information that is needed and information that is available on surplus, which might not make much sense visualizing. So what does a right dashboard do? Is a user dashboard for me is a usable dashboard. A usable dashboard in the sense it works for daily use. It looks simple and easy to perceive. Now that's the word that I'm looking for, easy to perceive. Absolutely, like when you have a dashboard which you use it for daily use and you want it to be easily perceived, you got to be simple, you got to be realistic, you got to show numbers that are more reliable and people can trust on. And a usable dashboard is something that suffices the basic or the must-have need. I mean, that's the max the need, right? So the user needs one thing and the total requirement is 10. You don't really need to design all the 10. You can still focus on the first 5 or first 4 of the information and take it forward from there. So it's totally depending on how you design a dashboard. Do you design it for a client, design it for your manager, or do you design it for your user? Now that's where everything changes, right? So this is a simple example. I've once showcased this example in the past, but I would like to reiterate this example. It's a wonderful example that really opened my mind, and I think so it really enlightened you as well. So this is the dashboard designed for a client requirement, absolutely perfect. We have the ratio on the y-axis, and the x-axis is quarters based on years. Absolutely remarkable. People can see all the values for all the, let's assume it's a subcategory. People can see the values for all the subcategories, and it's very clear, and they get to see which are the subcategories which are more important, which are more less important. Perfectly works. This is based on what the client has communicated. Let's say the client says, visualize ratios over years and quarters. Perfectly executed. But what does the user want? The user wants to see only this. This is what the user is worried about, because this is the information that determines the other parameters. And we actually missed the plot over there. I mean, this perfectly works, but what the user needs is this. And how does the user perceive when we show this dashboard to them? This is how they perceive it, right? And not good enough. It's not communicating the entire information, but it's doing the purpose. It's actually satisfying your manager, your client manager, but it's not satisfying your user. And this is what actually the user wants to see. He just wants to see that part highlighted. So technically what people miss out the plot is if you understand the user, you would actually give in a filter over here or a parameter over here telling which value you want to select, and you filter it out of the entire dashboard. You can even give all value and the dashboard reverts back to the original one. So how you design something determines is based on how you understand your user. If you're not understanding your user, your dashboards go for a toss. They will not suffice for daily use, or they'll not help you to be making usable dashboards. They're good, they work, but they're not usable anymore. There's another example. This is a wonderful example of how the user, you finish the custom requirements for the user. And it's done perfectly fine for the client. It's great from your managers. You get an approval. It goes to the user, and this is what the user sees. Because my user is colorblind, and we didn't give a damn about it, right? So this is what they see. This is another set of users, how they see my dashboard, because he's colorblind to another extent. So this is where we miss in the plot. We're actually designing dashboards for people who we don't know. And we see a small subset of users who are mentioning them as clients or the people who give us requirements, try to conceptualize the dashboard for them. But technically, it doesn't really work because the user is a person who we are not understanding. If you do a thorough understanding on who a user is, we can quickly understand how it really works. So there's a simple illustration that I always take up. It is this one. It's absolutely fun to see this, and every time I see this, I try to, rewire my mind and say, you know what, I have to look at it in a different perspective. So this is an image showing an elephant and people standing around it, and each person is interpreting the elephant in a different format. And I mean, it sometimes feels that I should take a laugh, and it's just something that people just see this and while away the time. But it's a perfect example of how we perceive something. If you're not seeing the whole picture and you're just taking small requirements, or you're taking requirements from some person or a person who is influencing a larger group, this is where you're missing the plot, because it never really works. The idea is to stand back, observe the entire picture, take in the perspective of who your users are, and it should work out for you. So that's the whole picture at the back of this. Getting to know your user, because the best thing that happens is the client. The ideal scenario is the client who's giving you the requirement is the person who uses the dashboard. You absolutely don't have to worry anything. But if it's not, then you're in a big mistake, because if you make the dashboard, it's not going to work out for everyone. So I'd like to close off my slide, as I said, with a sentence that really brings out how I perceive information. So this is the best quote I've seen. It says, a user interface is like a joke. If you have to explain it, it's not that good, right? So you should have made a design that you need not explain to anyone, and that includes your user, the person who is sitting at the other end of the machine and viewing your dashboard for daily usage. He should not take time to understand it, or in other words, he should not ring you back asking how this works. That's the worst thing that can happen. So this is a perfect code that I take in as a inspiration every time I design something, and I think it's a remarkable piece of information that people can take in and try to come up with different, better usable dashboards, rather than sticking into something that really doesn't become usable. So, thank you. Sagar, on to you. I think I'm done.
Perfect. Thank you, Praveen, for that. And I think I love your analogy about the elephant. So let's go ahead with our second speaker. His name is Pawan Sachdeva. So Pawan is a Tableau Public Featured author and working as a data analyst at Optum. Before 2020, he was only using Tableau at work, but joining Tableau Public and connecting with the Tableau community this year helped him discover his passion and love for Tableau, data visualization, and storytelling. He's an active member of the Tableau community and involved in community projects like Makeover Monday and IronQuest. So without further ado, Pawan, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sagar, for that introduction. So let me just quickly share my screen. Yeah, are you able to see it?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So good morning, good evening, everyone. So I'm really excited to be on VizConnect. So just over a year ago, I just started watching VizConnect sessions, and now to be presenting on one, I'm incredibly honored. So thank you so much, Sagar, for this opportunity. So today I would like to talk about my journey from being a newbie to a featured author, and share my inspirations and motivations that actually helped me reach here, and hopefully inspire the new folks joining Tableau Public and Tableau Community who are actually maybe intimidated or get lost on their way. So if I can help them out somehow, so I think it would all be worth it. So yeah, if you see this image on the bottom right, so it's a very simple and a very significant image that has been very relevant for me. That if you need to grow, you need to leave your comfort zone. That's where magic happens, and that's where you actually achieve big. So I follow that, and hopefully most of the people do here. So yeah, so I would like to talk about a brief introduction about myself, and then what does featured author mean to me. Well, I'm incredibly honored to be one, but just like to talk about it. then a visual look into my short journey about talking about Tableau projects, the community projects, and the community, as well as mentorship, and a few tips and takeaways that have actually helped me during my journey, and hopefully it will be helpful for other people as well. So yeah, coming to me, my name is Pawan Sachdeva. I'm a data analyst at Optum. I'm born and brought up in New Delhi, India. I recently became a Tableau Public Featured author. By nature, I'm an omnivert. So who don't know what omnivert is, it's basically a combination of both introvert and extrovert, depending upon different situations. And I love road trips and exploring new places, unfortunately, which has been on hold because of all the COVID situation. And the last thing I think most of the people on the Tableau community can relate to is I'm a diehard fan of Friends. I don't know how many times I've watched it during the during the lockdown, but yeah, that's a brief introduction about myself. Now, what does featured author mean to me? So, when I actually started in January 2020, I had no specific goals or expectations as to what I want to achieve. I just was inspired by seeing all the visits, and I joined the community to learn and grow my skills. And I tried to improve with every single viz that I created. Just that was it. But now to be globally recognized for your work, I think it is extremely rewarding and one of the biggest things and one of the biggest achievements of my life. And I'm incredibly honored to be a featured author. And the second quote that you see there by Oprah, it's to move forward, you have to give back. I think it's relevant in almost every aspect of our lives. So a lot of people have actually helped me, supported me, and inspired me during my journey in the Tableau community. So giving back to the communities and trying to help and improve, help other and improve their skills and reach their goals. So if I can do that in any way, I'm already doing that, but just I'll try to amplify that and helping others on their way. So that's what I would be doing from now on. So yeah. And now talking about my journey, how it started. So it actually started unexpectedly, as Sagar mentioned. So before January 2020, I was just designing business dashboards where I was working on crosstabs and bar charts, and that was it. I thought, okay, that's it. Tableau is confined to the reporting side of it. But in Jan 2020, there was a competition organized by the VizConnect team, especially by Sagar for our organization. And we had to actually create a Tableau public profile to submit our Viz. And that's how I created my profile. So the Viz that you see on the right hand side, this is the one that I created for that competition. And believe me, this is the first Viz that I created, my first personal Viz on Tableau. And I spent a good 2-3 weeks on that Viz. And I went on to Tableau Public. I searched a lot of Vizes. I searched for who the most famous people are on Tableau. And when I searched their profile, when I looked at their visualizations, my mind was completely blown away. And the first question that came to my mind was, wow, is that even possible to do in Tableau? And that is what actually just light up a bulb and inspired me and motivated me to just join the community, start taking part in community projects. I knew there was something called Makeover Monday, but I had no much knowledge about it. So there's a VizConnect session by Mira, who's a Tableau ambassador and an extremely talented person. So there's this VizConnect why you should participate in Makeover Monday. So if you are interested in Makeover Monday and if you want to know more about it, you should watch this session on YouTube. You will be inspired to join it. And the next thing, when I published this Viz, within 5 days, I actually just published my first Viz. I joined the Twitter to participate in Makeover Monday and published my first Viz. So that's how my journey actually started. And now the most important thing is the role of community projects and Tableau community in your journey. I think everyone on the community can relate to it, how important these projects and the community is. So I think here I would like to emphasize on my growth that I actually owe everything to the community. Why? Why? Let's just discuss about it. So I think I was just 4 months in when I started my journey here, and then I got my first Viz of the day, and which was I think extremely unexpected and rewarding, and I was over the moon for that. So at that time, I actually created this visualization that you're seeing on your screen just to emphasize how important these community projects are, how it can help you grow your skill, and how the Tableau community is so supportive and motivational for you. So let me just quickly walk you through the Viz. It will be a short. Um, so this is the Viz that I created. Now these are actually, this is the one that I created when I got Viz of the day. So these are actually my Vizes that you see here, and sorry. So these are the visualizations. This is the path chart that I created from using a tutorial by Pawan, who's a Tableau Zen master and runs tablewmagic.com. And here you see, I think I was really amazed. Just I wanted to show here how the community has been so helpful to me. In fact, for everyone, how welcoming the community is. Here, I joined Twitter to just start taking part in Makeover Monday, and this was my first Makeover Monday viz. And I was just 5 vizzes in when I got Tableau FF, a shout out from Brian, who is, I think, one of the biggest inspiration throughout my journey. And he also became a featured author along with me, so I'm incredibly honored to share this space with him. So he gave me a warm welcome, and I think I was when I joined the community, I was actually no one actually knew me because this is a very big community. So out of nowhere, getting a shout out from someone for your work, that they are welcoming you and have appreciated your work, I think it was extremely welcoming and rewarding for me. So that actually hooked me on DataFam, that okay, I should continue here, this is amazing. And then just soon after, I got two more shout outs by Adam Miko, who's my mentor now, and then Eric, and just regular participation. And these are all Makeover Monday visits. Regular participation in Makeover Monday got me to Viz of the Day. And even the Viz of the Day was a Makeover Monday submission. So I would highly urge anyone out there listening, if you want to grow, just start taking part in community projects and Makeover Monday and connect with the data community. And on the next page, I have inspiration. So I actually use UI or a layout of Tableau public website in the design just to pay my tribute and to show how grateful I am. So these are a few of the inspirations that I cited out at that time. So if you want to if you're not following any of these, you should just go out and follow them and get inspired. Now, Eva May and Andy Kriebel are basically the the creators of Makeover Monday, which is actually, who doesn't know what Makeover Monday is? It is a weekly social data project with the goal to inspire the community to learn from each other and improve their data skills. And believe me, it does help you grow your data skills, because I owe everything that I've learned here to Makeover Monday. And next, I have cited a few resources that actually helped me improve both my technical aspect of Tableau as well as the design aspect, because I had no design background. I had never designed anything. I didn't used to think I'm creative enough. So it actually helped me a lot on my journey. So just go through this visualization and go through these blogs, webinars, and videos, and it will be extremely rewarding and helpful for you. So next up, we have, these are the community projects that we have. I've cited out. Sorry if I missed someone here, but these are mainly the community projects that you can take part in. Some are weekly competitions, weekly projects. Some are monthly projects. So you can take part in and these people actually go through the hassle of finding the data for you, organizing everything. So you don't have to do much. You just have to import the data in Tableau and start visualizing, creating a story out of it, and that's it. So pretty much they do all the work for us. So it's great. And next up, this is one question that I wanted to address. A lot of people actually ask me on LinkedIn that, okay, we have created a Tableau public profile, but how should we connect with the community? We don't know that. So for those people, I would just like to tell you that great that you have created a Tableau public profile. Now just go to Twitter, create a Twitter account just for data visualization, keep it separate from your personal account. Start by connecting with the Tableau Zen masters and Tableau ambassadors, and even the inspirations that I've cited in my visualizations. You can follow them, and that's about it. And that will be a start for you. And use hashtag DataFam that we use for the Tableau community. And if you want to ask anything or everything, if you are publishing a Wiz, seeking feedback, just add a hashtag DataFam, and you will be happy to see how many people reach out for feedbacks to you. And for any help or suggestion, be it technical or anything that you want, you can just use this, and that will be extremely rewarding for you. Now, this mentorship is actually the most integral part, at least of my journey, and I would heavily urge everyone, if you do not have a mentor, please seek out a mentor on the Tableau community. In fact, a mentor is important, I think, in every aspect of our lives. And I actually got a mentor called Adam Miko. He's one of the most inspiring and most amazing person on the community. And I'm really happy to be sharing this cohort of featured author with him, because he also became a featured author along with me. So I think this has been the best thing for me, to be a featured author along with my mentor, my guide, and my friend. So why you need a mentor? Basically, you need a mentor. You can do good on your own, but a mentor will actually help you smooth out your bumps, is a trusted source of feedback. I used to reach to Adam for all the feedbacks and point out he used to point out all the minor details that actually helped improve my design skills. is more of a sounding board for you where you can bounce off your ideas and actually amplifies your work. So seek out a mentor in every aspect of your life. I just wanted to point this out. It's a very small but a significant example from my journey, and most of the people actually know about this, but just wanted to point it out as a sign of gratitude to Adam in this case. So everyone knows what Iron Viz is. If they don't know, Iron Viz is actually an annual competition that is organized by Tableau, and it's the biggest data viz competition, and I was really excited for it. It was in July, but and I was really excited that I would to create something good. And unfortunately, COVID hit my family, and my family was tested positive. And unfortunately, I lost my grandmother. So I was really down and out. I was not engaging with the community. I was nowhere. So Adam actually seeked out to me. He talked to me, and he knew that I have a passion for data visualization. This is what I love. So he actually urged me and inspired me to create a Viz, not just for the competition, but just as a healing process for me. And this is the Viz that you see there on yoga that I created in just around 4 or 5 days, I think maximum 6 days, and was able to submit it on time. And this actually helped me get back on track to get my mind straight. So thank you so much, Adam, for that. And that's how I got back on track. So I think this is if you love anything, just do it. If you're down and out, just do anything that you love, and that will actually help you feel better. So if you're seeking out a mentor, there's an amazing a mentorship program in the community called the Data Fam Mentorship Initiative. Just enroll, and this team will actually just assign a mentor to you based on your skill set and experience. So do take advantage and grab this opportunity. So this is the amazing team behind this initiative: Adam, Brian, Emily, Mark, Sagar, Sarah, and Vinod. So do take advantage of this initiative. Thank you. Next up, I would like to talk about the few tips and takeaways. I could have gone the technical side of it, but I just wanted to point out what I faced, and maybe these tips would be helpful for anyone else who's facing these issues in the community or anywhere in life. So I hope this might be helpful for them. So the biggest growth happens when you put yourself out there. So I would say don't shy away from sharing your work. I know it's a bit scary at first because you think you're not good enough, but and not easy being vulnerable because you put yourself out there, you people provide you feedback, and sometimes you're not happy with the feedback. But I think that's the way you grow. You get the feedback, you learn, you improve, and that's what actually helps you grow. And the next step is it's okay to grow at your own pace, but keep challenging yourself. So why I address this problem is because a lot of people actually told me on LinkedIn that we are not good enough. So that's why they just left. So for those people, I would like to say that don't be intimidated by seeing all the amazing work that you see on Tableau Public. I mean, don't compare your journey to anyone else's. You don't know what they have been through, what their journey is. Just compare yourself to how you were a month ago. This is what I used to do, and this is what my mentor Adam taught me. Just compare yourself to how you were a month ago. If you have grown, that's great, you are on the right path. If not, then challenge yourself and push yourself more. So this is a great advice that I got from Adam Miko. And next, this I've been doing for, I think, since I started. Just try something new with each Viz. With every Viz, I used to do something different, maybe a technical aspect or the design aspect, and that's how you learn. You will make mistakes and grow. So just try to do something new every week. And there's a lot of inspiration on the community. So don't think you can be short of inspiration there. And this point I've already emphasized a lot: embrace the community. I mean, this is the most important part. Just connect with the community, get inspired, and seek out a mentor. They will really help you out. The people are really supportive and welcoming and so encouraging. So I cannot even explain that. So do connect with the community. And lastly, just enjoy this journey. I think this is a great way to this is for everything in life. So just enjoy your journey and have fun. So a few tools I have listed out here that I had no knowledge of before I joined the community, and so just pointed these out. And if you want to learn these, so you can, all these are available on YouTube, so you can find those there. So first is Figma, which is a design tool. As I mentioned, I didn't have a design background. I was not creative enough. So this was something that I actually learned. The Viz that you're seeing down there on the bottom left side, it's other than the bar chart, everything else is created in Figma. The background, the images, everything is created in Figma, and you can easily import it into Tableau. So which is a great design tool. There's a session by Chantilly, who is a Tableau Zen master. So you can just go on YouTube and see that video and learn Figma, which is, I think, a great tool. And it can be used with any of the visualization tool, not just Tableau. So the second thing is Mapbox. The second tool that I learned here is Mapbox. Other than the default Tableau maps, you can import maps from Mapbox, which and you can design splendid dashboards, splendid maps here. And just to see the level of maps that can be created, I would urge everyone to just visit Johnny Walker's Tableau public profile, and you'll be amazed to see the maps there. And he has a pretty easy tutorial on YouTube that you can follow and learn Mapbox. Lastly, PowerPoint for Tableau dashboards by Kevin Frelage. This is also on YouTube, and Kevin is a Tableau legend and a Tableau Zen master, and one of the most humble and kind person in the community. So I used to think that PowerPoint is basically just for business slides before this, but when I watched this, and now you can see my growth here. So this was on the right side. Other than the periodic table, everything else has been designed in PowerPoint. So the possibilities are endless if you just keep on learning and growing. And then talking about the design inspirations, if I'm creating a Viz, and once I'm done with the analysis, now to see how I want to design it, the inspirations, my go-to inspirations are Tableau Public, Pinterest, Dribble, and website called Information is Beautiful. You'll find amazing visualizations here. And yeah, thank you so much. And these are my contact details if you want to connect me on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Tableau Public, so you can connect with me. If you have any queries regarding anything, you feel lost, or anything that you want to know about the Tableau community or how you should start, you can contact me directly on Twitter. Thank you so much, Sagar. Over to you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Pawan, for that. So now I think we can go ahead and break for the Q&A. So if you have any question for Praveen and Pawan, please go ahead and put it in the Q&A tab. Happy to read out for you. I think I can start with the first question, and this is to you, Praveen. I think currently, what is your
All right.
advice for someone who is starting his journey in Tableau? How they should go ahead and learn about user experience and user design? What will be your advice to them?
All right. So I would say, see, this is one of the most major mistakes that people make is when they get a requirement for a dashboard, they close their eyes, they trust the requirements, and make a dashboard. That's the major flaw that I see. And people, I mean, I'm not blaming the guys. I'm actually blaming the person who actually gives the requirement to the person and tells them that make it. The problem is we don't question back. It's that's the major flaw. We need to learn to question back, asking why should I make a dashboard with these requirements? What is the significance? And how does these requirements translate out in terms of a business use case, and technically in terms how does this dashboard help my user to make money, because this is a business tool, right? Although there is a fun part to it, you make it, you're doing your the thing you like most, you're getting the enjoyment from that, perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, what matters is, do you make money out of it? And the first question that we need to ask ourselves is, does this dashboard fetch money for my user? Or does this dashboard help my user to straighten out his business process, or help him understand the flaws in his business? That the business that you see right now that's available in the world is so complex. When we see the business requirements that are given by users, and when we go to users in the domain experts and specific to the domains, we see that the amount of knowledge that people have is extensive. So when we build a dashboard, the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, how does this dashboard translate out to my user and help him at the end of the day make money? If you get the number, or if you can quantify yourself with a number of how much money he can gain by that dashboard, or can you quantify it after you publish your dashboard? Can you quantify it how much money they have gained after the dashboard has been published? That's the goal. So when you get a dashboard, when you get a requirement, question back that why am I asked to make this, or why am I making this? When you question that, is when you are trying to become a better developer. There's a difference. There's a difference being a developer, and there's a difference being a better developer. So how do you stand out in the community? That's the most important thing, because you need to survive in this business. It's an absolutely competitive business, and it's one of the most competitive business that's available in the market right now. So how do I stand out? How do I make my work speak for itself? That's a word. So I would say question the requirements, question the person who is giving you requirements, and try to find out why you need to design something, so that when you find out the origin or the reason for that question, you'll try to understand how your dashboard or how your design is going to translate out for the user. So that's the first thing, and that's the best advice I can give.
Perfect. Thank you, Praveen, for that. I think it's always great to start with the why, right? Just to know what we are getting into and what is something is expected out from us. Yeah, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And coming back to you, Pawan, and you mentioned about starting your journey, right? You used to
Mhm.
use Tableau in your work at Optum before, and then you transitioned into the Tableau community and started getting involved in all these community projects.
Mhm.
So my question is that what was the change in in a way used to design the business dashboards now after getting involved in the Tableau community projects? Did you see any transition in that, or it was the same thing like before also? Just an example I'm giving: if the requirement was to go ahead and design a text table, right? And this is something we still struggle a lot with the business. You were going ahead and doing something like that only. So, like, what was your experience in that? Just wanted to know that.
Sure, Sagar. I think that's a great question. So, I think I have improved significantly while designing business dashboards, because even for Iron Quest, if you see, we have a theme called business dashboards. And just talking about the design, I think the first of all, the most important thing that I improved in my business dashboards was the design, how you are actually laying out everything. Storytelling, my storytelling actually improved working on different quizzes, Makeover Monday, how to get to the crux of it, not just visualizing anything and everything, getting to creating a story out of your data. That actually helped me working regularly week after week on different quizzes. My storytelling improved, and that actually shows in my official work as well. And coming to the tables that you pointed out, how you are designing the tables, how you are using the calculations, using spark lines within your tables and different KPIs, that's all I learned from here in the community. So yes, it has improved a lot. Even using the PowerPoint images, I've started using that. So which has been a great deal, just giving that a website look and more of that. So I think I've learned a lot from this community, and that has actually shown in my work.
Perfect. Thank you. Any anything from you, Praveen? You think about it, like how your transition has been participating into community events on the work you are doing with the business users currently.
All right. So I started with Tableau in 2015. That's how I started. But I started publishing dashboards to community activities and on the community platform maybe 2 years ago. That's very recent. Maybe in 2018 I started. So for the first 3 years I was dormant. I think so, there were some very old blogs. I think so those blogs most of the blogs discontinued right now. Some of the blogs that still exist are, I think so. One is by Kevin. He merged his blog with his brother. So earlier there were two blogs. Now there is one. Then there was a blog by Rajiv Vizard Pandey. There is a web blog, and there were a couple more blogs by people. So Toin is one of the person who has inspired people over the last 2 years. But I'm talking about 5 years back. There were very less blogs, and the first thing that I used to do is refer to blogs. That's a go-to for you. That should be the go-to for you, because we have a lot more content now and a lot more flexibility right now to view the content wherever you want. But the ideal situation is find the best content. If you feel something is not good for you, don't go for it. But if you feel that something is contributing to your learning platform, please go for it. It's something that I've seen almost over time. So I usually do what I do is I don't bookmark blogs. I actually follow the blog on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is my go-to platform. Although I see a lot of blogs on Twitter, but I'm not much. I don't contribute much on Twitter nowadays. So I've actually stepped out of Twitter in the last couple of months, and I've concentrated fully on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is more of a learning platform. So it's my go-to now. So for me, I feel that LinkedIn is a much more better platform for learning. And if you're a person who is looking for learning, follow LinkedIn, follow people who publish blogs, because that's where you can stay updated. You could read out the comment section, you see tips and tricks over there, everything is available for you. So focus on blogs, that's what I say, and find out your go-to platform. If you think that Twitter is contributing to you in terms of learning, go for it. But if you think that it's not, then please step out of it. Don't waste your time at the back of platforms that are not helping you learn. If you see that there is a bias over somewhere, or there is something that people are not really taking care of or not taking seriously, maybe you are a design person and some people don't really worry about design in a platform, get out of it. Find your go-to platforms. If you're a person who bookmarks, then bookmark your favorite blogs, keep a track of it. Subscribe to the newsletters available, be it be it any platform, be it Project Healthways, or be it IronQuest, or be it SWD Challenge. Subscribe for it, get to the latest updates, and keep track of it. And learning from there should be the best option for you, because that is where a lot of people who have spent hours of their life have contributed a lot of content, and you can use that to get a lot of insights out of it. Yeah, that's really the go-to platform.
Thank you, Praveen, for that. And as a follow-up question, we want to talk about anything about mentoring. Like, if you want to just go ahead and talk about the role of mentoring in your journey with respect to data visualization and storytelling, and how important feedback is for you when you're designing a particular dashboard, and what is your source of feedback, right? Do you go ahead and ask your colleagues, or do you directly reach out to the business user for the feedback? I think I would love to know something on those lines also.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So, I'm a UX designer, if I'm not wrong. If you people know what that trait is, it's an art of designing something with feedbacks. So that I would say user experience design is actually having the word user speaks that it's totally dependent on the user. You're designing something which is of a community. So I'm a UX designer. When I say UX designer, there's a difference between being a consultant and a UX designer. A consultant can reach out to a group of users and get a feedback. A UX designer works on strategies. So that's where you separate out yourself. And what is the biggest thing is for me, if I see my community of users, I have almost more than 1,000, 2,000 users who actually use my dashboard. In my previous firm, in my first UX project, which was for Unilever, I had more than 4,000 users on everyday basis. So when you design a dashboard for 4,000 users, you always will have a time where you will miss the plot, where there will be a time that you don't know what to design for. You can't really interview 10 people and design a dashboard for 4,000 people. That's where you're missing the plot, right? So what really works is feedback is the uh, start and end for me. There is absolutely nothing I can do on a dashboard if I don't get feedback. So how do I do it? We set up survey platforms. We set up platforms for people to give realistic feedbacks, live feedbacks, 24/7 feedbacks. We reach out to people in person. I travel a lot because of my feedback gathering mechanisms, and because of the user experience research that we do at Bosch, which is extensively strong. We travel out, we meet people, we talk to them, we understand their native culture, we interact with them as much close as possible. We try to build a bridge of the trust that really doesn't really exist earlier, but we try to build that trust with the persons that who actually are going to use the dashboard, and try to get answer from them. So usually I start off with surveys. We roll out the survey to a larger community. Let's say we roll out a survey to 5,000 people. At least 1,000 people out of that reply to you. You can get a picture of how you can conceptualize a dashboard. And the questions for the for the survey, we sit over a month we conceptualize those questions. We fight with our managers. We say we have 10 questions. We need to prioritize the 8th question over the 7th one, or why should we do that? We come up with strategies. We sit and discuss in length over hours to finalize what question can we really put in front of the user to get the maximum feedback. People see some questions and they get baffled. People see some questions and they see, oh no, this is too much for me. So how do we come up to a standstill where we have questions which are not too much paining for the user? It's easy to answer. It's a simple question. It's not complex. So the feedback is a huge area by itself. If I want to speak on feedback, I can take an entire day to speak on feedback because that's my trait. That's where I work for. So if that is not there, it's not going to work. And when mentoring comes into picture, when I started off Tableau, I actually had one mentor who started off with me, and then after a year I had another mentor, and it was my manager. She works in the previous firm, and she used to guide me on how I can design dashboards. So when you have a person working along with you and is a mentor, so you interact with them on a daily basis, you learn from them, you get to discuss with them, debate with them, how something should, why should I come up with something like this? Why should a chart, why should I have a bar chart, why not a line chart? You find the differences between that. That's where a mentor is. You can find mentors who can give you vast knowledge on how to start something or how to proceed something. But if you find a person who is helping you how to design something, now that's where the entire concept of mentoring changes. And my mentors were really helpful. But I can say there are some mentors who I had on a virtual platforms like Rajiv Pandey is one of the mentors I can say is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I call him as a virtual mentor because he had a blog in 2015, and I used to read them on day longs, and I used to interpret what these blogs mean. I used to read Kevin's blogs, Ken's blogs. I used to read blogs by Andy Cottree in 2015 and 2016. I used to understand how they actually came up with the dashboard, not by downloading their dashboard, but at least can I take a sample data and replicate my dashboard to an exact similar structures? And I never used to publish it. So it's not like I need to get into plagiarism stuff, but I need to learn, So mentoring is something that is crucial for me. I still think that I'm not matured enough to mentor someone because there is a lot for me to personally learn, and I'm still learning every day. So I would tell that feedback is something that is crucial for design. If you don't have that, your design is not going to work any day. And mentoring is something that that's definitely something that has to be taken core to heart. If you are designing to mentor someone, or if you're designing to take the mentorship of someone, try to take the maximum out of it and try to see how you can use that time to get the maximum knowledge on how to conceptualize something. Find the goods and bads about something, find the best parts of some dashboard designs. That there is always a debate that I like with a couple of people I start off whenever I don't have any conversation is what's the best thing? Is a pie chart or a bar chart? That's the only thing I need to start a conversation with someone, and it can go on for days. There's absolutely no doubt. And that's where I think mentoring is about all this. It's about debate. It's about finding out what is the right thing, what is the best thing for us for a given scenario, and take it out from there. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Praveen. And you have given me a great idea of put a brain date on what is better, a pie chart and a bar chart. I will go ahead and do that. But yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think thank you, Pawan, thank you, Praveen. Any advice, feedback, Pawan or Praveen, you want to give to the community? Feel free to just unmute yourself and yeah, any closing comments.
Yeah, I just saw a few questions in the Q&A window, and I would just like to say one thing that if someone mentioned that they have been using the hashtag DataFam but not getting feedbacks, so I think if that's the case, you can directly reach out to any of the Zen masters, anyone that you know, and on the community. I'm pretty sure I'm a live example of that. Everyone is really very helpful and kind to help you out. You can DM them, but I would just say don't stop. Just keep your journey going, keep whizzing, and if you think you're not good enough, just keep working on it and compare yourself to your whizzes, and that's it. So just keep going. That's it. And one day you will reach a great level. So, yeah.
Anything from you, Praveen? Any closing comments?
All right. I don't really have that much to speak, but I would tell people that um, always question why. If you stop questioning why, you're not good for this industry. Always question why, and that why will guide you anywhere that you want to go.
Perfect. Thank you. So with that, thank you everyone for joining VizConnect. I hope it was a great session for you. So do remember to register for the Tableau conference next week. And yeah, hopefully to see you in one of the brain dates, which I am hosting, or some of the brain dates which you are going ahead or planning to host it. So with that, thank you. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.